Good morning, this is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel to continue on the series about um, the professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. This is, I believe, part 8. I did one on the Blazers of 1990, the three Blazer teams in 90, 91, 92, the Knicks team in 93, the Phoenix Suns in 93, so that's 5. I did the Sonics of 94, so that's 7. I think it's like part 9. Should be, because I did 3 3 parts about the Blazers, 1990, 91, 92, that's 3. 93 Knicks, the 93 Suns, that's 5. The 94 Sonics, that's 6. Yesterday was the Magic in 95. So that's 7. It's got to be part 8. Part 8. This is the 1995 San Antonio Spurs. I want to focus on them. They won 62 games. They had the best record in the league. 62-20 had the league's best record. They had the league's MVP in David Robinson. You can make a case that this was David Robinson's best team he ever played on. This before, this is pre-Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, obviously, when he came to the Spurs, they won 5 championships. Robinson finally got a championship in 99. But this was the best chance for the Spurs to really get to the championship and win. Unfortunately, they didn't. That's why they're part of this part series. In the offseason, they hired Bob Hill as the head coach. We acquired Sean Elliott after playing 1 year with Detroit Pistons. They re-signed Avery Johnson. They signed Chuck Person as a free agent, and also had Moses Malone. And they signed free agent Doc Rivers. So this team was loaded. Dennis Rodman was on the team, but he served a suspension at the start of the season. They lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Rockets. Now, the Rockets was, a hot team at the time. They was not a great team, but they got hot at the right time. They was a 6th seed. They would still remain the lowest seed ever to win the NBA championship. Hakeem Olajuwon was just on a mission, man. He was just on an incredible role as a player, man. He was red hot. He was unstoppable. As far as his game was concerned, man, it was like, 35 points a game in the conference finals against the San Antonio Spurs at that time. He was just unstoppable, dominant. Robinson didn't have no answer for him. I'm going to go over the stats pretty quick. But this San Antonio Spurs team had a chance to win it all. They beat the Denver Nuggets in 3 games, swept them. And then they beat the Lakers in 6. And then they lost to the 6th-seeded Houston Rockets in 6. That's a surprising loss. That's none against, Houston for what they did, but it's just that, San Antonio should have won it that year. When you really look at it, they had a great season. Robinson had a great year being the league's MVP. So right now I'm going to go look at the seed of the conference finals, because I want to go over the stats that Olajuwon had going up against David Robinson, man, because he could not be stopped. Conference finals. I remember that. Like I said, these are the teams that I saw that didn't win it all, that should have won it all. So I'm going to go over the conference finals, look at the stats of what Olajuwon did against a team like the Spurs. Olajuwon, the first game, had 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Game number 2 in the conference finals against the Spurs. This is the Rockets and the Spurs. Olajuwon had 41 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists. That was game 2. And remember, obviously, Spurs had the number 1 seed. Houston was in 6th seed, so Houston had to go on the road for most of the whole playoffs, in a sense, because they beat Utah, in the first round, I believe. Like I look at who they beat in the second round, but they had to go do it the hard way to win a championship. It's not easy to do. So they went to the San Antonio and won 2 games, the first 2 games. So Olajuwon had 41 points. Now, the Spurs bounced back from coming back from an 0-2 deficit and went to Houston and won 107, 102, and 103, 81 respectively. But they still lost the series. They got blown out in games 5 and lost in 5 by 5 points in game 6. So game 3, Olajuwon had 43 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. He just was unstoppable in this series. Despite losing that game, but he's still unstoppable. Now, Olajuwon didn't play as well. He scored only 20 points, 9 for 24. So the series was tied at 2-2 because the Spurs beat Houston 103 to 81. So we go to game 5, Purdue game 5. The Spurs are at home and they lose at home 111 to 90. Olajuwon, again, dominant. Really outplayed Robinson. Robinson only had 22 points. Olajuwon had 42 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, almost a triple-double. Shot extremely well, 63% from the field, 19 of 30. Unbelievable. And then they closed it out 195 against the Spurs. And Olajuwon had 39 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks, 16 out of 25 shooting. He shot 64% from the field. He attempted 1 3-pointer. Obviously, Ori was doing his thing. You know, he scored 22 points. He shot 11 3-pointers and made 6. But I'm just saying, like, Olajuwon was just a dominant player. And just look at the series summary as far as like the stats. Because he averaged, I believe, 35 a game in this conference finals. Just want to make sure before I wrap up this video, because that's very important, because that was, Olajuwon was just on another mission, another level at that time. Man, nobody could stop this guy. He was that lethal during that period of time. I'm having a tough time trying to get to where I gotta go. But overall, what I'm trying to make is that Hakeem Olajuwon was just a dominant player during that time. Now, Houston beat the Utah Jazz in 5 games in Utah, 3 games to 2. Then they beat Phoenix in 7 games. That's the Mario Elie hit the 3-point shot on May 20th. And then they beat Houston. So they beat the number 3 seed, the number 2 seed, and the number 1 seed. I just want to get to the conference finals in terms of how many points he averaged. I believe he averaged like 35 a game at that time. bear with me with a little bit. I'm trying to get to, here it is. I think I have it right here. Okay. Elijah Wan in the 6 games against David Robinson averaged 35.3 points a game. That's all that need to be said. The dude was unstoppable, 35 points a game. While David Robinson, the league MVP, only averaged 23.8 a game. He just didn't, step his game up to keep up with Elijah Wan. Elijah Wan averaged 35.3 points a game. So these was the times where, I'm saying, before, there was, Tim Duncan. The Spurs had chances during the 90s to win a championship, and I think this team had the best shot to win it all in 95, 94, 95. You had the best record in the league, the Spurs. You're a Spurs fan, you thought that was your year because they had the league MVP in David Robinson, but they ran into a Houston team that beat Utah in 5 games. They beat Phoenix in 7 games. They was the number 2 seed. Utah was the number 3 seed, and then they beat the number 1 seed in the San Antonio Spurs. So they had one of the great playoff runs you're ever going to see in the history of playoffs. And these are defending champions. They got Clyde Drexler. Elijah Wan was in the zone. He was red hot. He was unstoppable with his moves, whatever he brought to the table. The dude was just on another level. And he averaged 35 points a game in the conference finals against David Robinson, when he averaged 23 a game, 23.8 a game. So that's not good look. That was totally a lopsided matchup that favored Hakeem Olajuwon at that time. So that concludes this part series in terms of, I think this is part 8, I believe, of the professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. The professional sports teams that didn't win the championship during that season. This is, I believe, part 8. I may make a correction, double check, but I believe this is the part 8 of this series. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you can to support. This is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel. Until then, talk to you soon.